the power went out and I decided to punk out the fox. And before anybody freaks out, I'm an artist and I can always paint anything realistic. So now I've done the surreal thing. And then I took all these pictures and posted that I did that. And then I got this and I was like, ooh, I'm going to line art because I still have no power. But you know what I do have? I do have power. I have power to get this ink going down on here. And line arting my fox. It was a cute fox. I mean, that's the thing. It came to me in a dream. And then as I was sitting here with the power out, I was like, ooh, I can do anything. I can make, that was the fox's feet. I can make any fox I want. And this is the other leg, and then the little paws came down here, and then that paw came down here. And then just, you know, because it's cute. We have no power. We have no power, so I can put that with whiskers back in and kind of frame that nose back out a little bit. But do we really have no power? We got all the power. I just don't have electricity currently. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun because I've already been to the pool. I've already been to the hot tub. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this whole marker thing. Getting cuter. So cute. Hello. I did a really big art supply order because I have a lot of things going on now that I'm doing art full time. So I thought I'd open some of this and explain it. Mica powder. Atomizers, distress ink, spray distress ink. This is a gum solution. I'll explain what that's for here in a second. This is ink. Standard resin kit. Watercolor. Liquid watercolor. Okay, so let me explain first. The resin kit, I just did this fox, this punk fox video, and I painted a punk fox, and I'm gonna resin the top of it. That will be my first experience with resin. We'll see how I do with that. And then this, if you mix this watercolor, liquid watercolor in 6 different colors, Just show you. Nice big bottles, big as my hand. You mix those. You pour those in here, and just a little bit of this gum, Arabic solution, and some of this mica powder, which is like basically like salt, kind of like powdery substance. In this, I can create a spray, almost like a spray paint, but it's a pump spray and it's watercolor, and it kind of gives that splash effect. And then this distress ink. I hope you guys can still hear me. The air conditioner decided to kick on while I was filming this. So the distress ink is the same concept, but it's more like silvers and golds, and it's very like old-fashioned kind of look. So I have some upcoming art I'll be using these on, and then the ink is great for you just to open it and drips everywhere. So I'm going to get to mixing this 2-part epoxy resin and create my first resin layer on the Punk Fox. So first I'm going to mix, I'm just going to do one just to show you, the liquid watercolor to make it into a spray. So here we go. First you open one of the atomizer bottles, and they come with a funnel. And so I'm gonna shake it. It doesn't look like it maybe needs to be shook, but I'm just gonna shake it. Might have to, yeah. So this was quite a ordeal unwrapping all this stuff. It was all heavily sealed in plastic, so it looks like this. You just gotta pop the top, and which is good, so nothing comes to your house messy. So I'm going to fill it with this first, and then add the powder, because otherwise the powder I think would just stay at the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to add some of the color, the liquid watercolor. It's a pretty small bottle. I forget how many ounces this one was. So I'm just going to leave it there. And these bottles come with labels, but I'm going to be using these bottles so much, I'm not going to label anything. So that used about that much. And now, as you can see, let me grab a towel. I'll rinse that here in a bit. Now we're going to add just a little of this gum Arabic solution. And what this says is to increase the gloss and transparency of the watercolors. Add to watercolor in small amounts until the desired level of transparency is achieved. May be thinned with water. So the mica powder came with this little spoon, so I'm going to use that. And also the epoxy resin I'm going to show you later to mix came with a lot of mica powder, but my resin's going to be clear, so I'm just going to keep that for later with this. Okay, so again, I might have to take the lid off this. Nope, it's ready. Okay, so let's pop the top, and I'm going to give it a couple drops. Couple more, because it really looks like just clear, like the clearest of Kool-Aids right now. I probably did about 10 drops. Here, let's put this on and shake it, see what that looks like. Okay, I think I'm gonna wanna add a little more, just so when I spray it onto that darker canvas, because that canvas has a lot of greens and blues, I want it to kind of pop and for you to really see that. Okay, I did about 10 more drops. Again, I'll shake it. Okay, it's starting to look not as see-through. I like that. And then now the mica powder. This probably is going to have one of those lids. I'm going to need to, yeah. Okay, hold on. A little harder to do with gloves. And I'm gonna have to get the scissors. Trying not to flick it everywhere. Okay. All right, so that's what the powder looks like. Just kind of salty, floury, whatever. And I'm just gonna take one little spoonful. And add it to it. Yeah, I think I'll just do 2. Okay, and then I'll set that aside with this funnel to wash out later. So put the lid back on this. And put the lid on this. Give it a shake. And now it's gorgeous. It's so shimmery and beautiful. And now I'm gonna go out and spray the canvas with it. But before that, I also want you to know I'm also gonna spray the canvas. I unwrapped the Distress inks and I like this kind of coppery color. And I'm gonna put a couple sprays of that on there as well. So keep watching. All right, so this is the orange shimmer spray that I just made, and it came outside and the air conditioner's on, so I hope you can hear this, but okay. And we're gonna zoom in a little closer to show you how it starts to spray out. And it just kind of dirties it up. I'm just gonna show this corner because it's pretty loud out here. And then I'm gonna finish in silence the rest. So then this is the Distress ink. Same concept. Okay, so now I'm using these, and I had to cut the tip off this one pretty good because it was clogged. But this is more of a larger plop of color, but it will bleed out, and then I'm going to kind of just see, I barely even had to touch it to get that effect, and then it will blend and make other colors.
What's this necklace you're wearing, by the way?
This necklace?
Yeah.
Oh, remember when I spent $400 on that flat tire?
Oh, is that the nail from your tire?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, hey, how punk is that?